up, everybody? This is VisitJoan, and welcome to another Discover University build. This time around, I'm building an entire residence hall completely from scratch with no plans, I don't even know what, it's not one of those like penthouse lots on top of the thing, so it's not just like one floor, it's the whole hall with the cafeteria, the lobby, the gym, the computer lab, everything in it. Now, this is university housing for Foxbury Institute. And as you will notice here, I actually decided to make the back the front because, well, I don't know, it just looked weird to have the front of like a residence hall in this middle of this cul-de-sac with all these other residential buildings. I think it would be better to have the front of it facing campus. And another thing is that I originally had planned to do a third floor, but later in the build off camera, I did delete that just because it wasn't really necessary because I had, enough beds for everyone. And, there's only like 10 beds that Sims can have. And, I just figured it looked good, but it wasn't really all that good playable. And that was a good thing because I still think this thing kind of lags. I don't know. I mean, I did test it out. It did feel a little laggy. I mean, I've had that happen before on like big builds on like humongous lots, like 64 by 64 or 50 by 40 or something like that, but nothing on like a 20 by 30 lot. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Maybe it's just university housing that does that. I don't know. But anyway, I did decide to name this hall Calisto Hall. Yes, I did. That was the only thing I could think of, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And I really kind of wanted it to be like, like a real residence hall, because in a real residence hall, or at least the ones I lived in, you had to actually have a key or an ID card or something like that to actually get onto the floor. So what I kind of wanted to do is I kind of wanted to put different floors and be able to like lock the doors for everyone but I only ended up with the one floor, so there goes that plan. But I didn't really have a plan in mind when I started building. I just started building, and I did stop the recording and actually used like those those like tape things from like Get Famous to actually mark out the floor plan so that you didn't have to sit and see like 5 minutes of me screwing around with that on camera, because honestly, nobody wants to watch that. At least I don't want to watch that. When I'm editing this thing, I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that. And so that would just make editing so much easier and all of that, other good stuff if I just did that off camera. So I did kind of base this a little bit off of one hall I lived in the way of like the layout on the living floor, in which it has, a lounge area in the middle, and then there were two different wings. And then the two different wings would actually, this building was in the shape of an E without the middle part. So when it bent over, there actually was like a little lounge area there, and I never used them because I lived in the second room from the foyer. So I never really went over there. But actually, I never really used the main foyer either, because by that time, I just had found my place at the school, and I just was my room was kind of like my little area, and I just really stayed in there, didn't really socialize with anybody actually inside the residence hall itself. But I know a lot of people that did use the lounge area, and I did go in there for like floor meetings and stuff. So yeah, there's a foyer, there's a mini lounge area, there's and then there's two double rooms on each side, one long single, which the long single actually has a full built-in closet, and two really just small, tiny single rooms. So there's more than 10 beds here, but that way, you can just fiddle around with the which Sims you're assigning to which bed and which Sims you're assigning to which room all you want. You don't have to worry about, accidentally leaving somebody out. So that's a good thing. There's also a laundry room that is actually quite far into like the first floor. You actually have to go to the computer lab to get there, which, that's not, like unfeasible. Like I know when I lived in Douglas Hall, there was the AB basement and the CD basement. And since I lived in D Wing when I lived there, I would go down to the D Wing basement and do my laundry. However, if you lived in A or B Wing, you would have to actually go to the AB Wing basement, and there was a computer lab in that basement. So you would actually have to walk through the computer lab to do your laundry. So the laundry room does have a little table, so you can sit and wait for the laundry to be done, or what they probably do now is what they had at my school, where they had they had like an online system where you could go online and see what washers and dryers are available, and then you could just put your stuff in and then go back up, and then you just look online again to see when it was done, and you go back and you take your stuff out and then you just put it in the dryer. You could do something like that. Now, normally I do the bathrooms off camera, but this time around I didn't, just so, I don't know. I just left it in there. I did rearrange them, and I left the rearranging of them off camera. But anyway, they're both gender-neutral bathrooms, and the showers are in their own little rooms. So you don't have to worry about somebody of the opposite gender walking in on you when you're showering, because I know that's just like a big problem, and all the toilets are stalls. So there really shouldn't be a problem with that, you know. I mean, I used a gender bathroom when I went to Anime Midwest last July, and honestly, I was more nervous before other people came in. Once the other people came in, I'm like, oh, they're just here to use the bathroom, and it was just like, no big deal. But the bathroom was just all stalls, so it didn't really matter. Well, actually, with the way I placed the bathrooms, they ended up being at the front of the building, and that was a problem because I really wanted, windows there, so I just put, like, you know, the half windows there, and, well, not half windows, the small ones. That looked okay. So anyway, here I am doing the lobby, and yes, I know most residence halls actually do have lobbies, and there's a little desk area there. That's not functional, it's just there to look like a residence hall, but basically, you know, that's where you would sign in guests and receive your packages and stuff like that, and I did put in all the little mailboxes. I did the rest of them off camera, because you don't need to see me do all these mailboxes. But anyway, for the dining hall, I've already done one on camera, so I don't need to completely explain myself. But I decided, since, you know, this was going to be a little bit different than the other one. And the actual interesting thing is that when I put the cafeteria station on the lot, I didn't know if it would work, but it actually does. There actually was somebody who came and served out food. So that is a good thing, which, you know, most residence halls, that's kind of the difference between a dorm and a residence hall. A dorm is just a place to sleep. A residence hall actually has, you know, everything. It has dining, it has all this other stuff, and this hall is kind of modeled more after new hall dining, and the fact that the cash register, which charges you for the meal, is actually at the beginning of the area where you eat, and so you have to actually, before you could even get down and sit down, you actually have to pay. Or you could just say, you know, when Flurp was there, you could just say, I'm here for Flurp, and then you wouldn't, you know, have to pay for the meal that you're not going to eat. But I put a variety of tables here because a lot of the dining halls I ate at did have a variety of tables. I don't really know how many of them had, like, counters. Well, I mean, there was, like, little bar-high tables you could sit at and, you know, stuff like that. But, yeah, so I put, like, circle tables. I put, you know, everything. And then I actually had, like, all this, like, self-serve stuff. I put, the fridge is there just to make it look a little bit more functional. So if you don't want, or you go in when it's not serving food, you can actually get something to eat. And when I went to decorate the walls, you know, I put a little sports jerseys there because, you know, in Douglas Hall there were sports jerseys actually on the walls. And I don't know, I don't remember if they were, I don't know, I never paid really any attention to them, but they might have been, like, significant players or something like that. I don't even know what happened to them when they tore that building down. They probably took them and put them somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But I also put up different posters of different, you know, activities on campus because that would just be a thing. There'd be flyers for that stuff everywhere. And I feel like I'm repeating myself from the Foxbury dining set, but I kind of miss, you know, dining halls because you could just go in and get your food, and now I just have to, well, I kind of have to cook it, and that takes time and effort, and I usually don't want to spend those two things. Like, you know, it's just sometimes I just don't want to spend the effort to cook. Sometimes I just don't, and then there's time involved too, and sometimes I just don't have the time. Like, I got stuff to do. I don't need to spend time slaving over the stove. And then my body just does this weird thing where it just starts, my tummy just starts rumbling. Like, I don't know, like an hour after I eat when I'm not even hungry. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Probably a thyroid issue. I really need to get that checked out. But anyway, this is like the main foyer where you can just, I don't know, just chill out, relax, stuff in here. Like, I know there was stuff to do like that in the halls that I lived at. I know that when we went to Douglas for the one semester for Flirp dinners, we would just chill, you know, in the, I would go to the bathroom that was there, and I would just, just relax in the chairs until they let us in for dinner, because, I had a class that got out at 3:30, and dinner, people started gathering for that at 4. So I would just usually just go straight from my class to, Douglas Hall, because the dorm I lived in at the time was like at the other side of campus. So I wasn't going to go back and then go forth. I just went straight there and just chilled out for a little bit, But now that I think about it, I think maybe this is the dorm that actually does summer housing, or that doesn't, that has students taking summer classes and stuff like that. So I feel like, maybe the cafeteria there would be open. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, most of the cafeterias at my school aren't open during the summer, but I feel like if they are doing summer housing, they would have the cafeteria be open, and so that students can get, like, summer jobs and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just how Foxbury Institute works, but anyway. Yeah, and I did put, like, a gym in here, except I don't really know what that's like because I never go to the gym, so I never went to the gym in any of the residence halls I lived in. I know Douglas didn't have one, but there was, like, literally a fitness center, like, right across the street. So yeah, another thing I just didn't mention when I was talking about, the basement of Douglas, was that when we had our international dinner dance practice, we would actually go into the the DC basement and actually practice there, because there'd be a big, open space, because, that would be where the computer lab was. In the other basement, there would be this big open space, and so we just practiced there, and that's just kind of, a little walk down memory lane. But you know what? I thought doing this Discovery University stuff was going to make me miserable, but instead it's actually, made me happy. And that's kind of a problem, because thinking of the past makes me happy. That should be a signal that something is wrong there, but I don't even know how to begin fixing that, or that's just a whole other slew of problems I just don't have. So anyway, when I'm coming to the actual living hall, I only did half of the rooms on camera, because, okay, you guys don't need to see me do every single room, but I do show them off in the screenshots at the end. So if you want to see all the rooms, you just wait till the end. You definitely will see them. So I actually based this part of the residence hall off of what I knew, and basically the community lounge areas in my hall. But yeah, I actually did go and look online to actually see it, and I did put a little video game system there, just so that Sims could have something fun to do, because, I mean, you can't bring video game systems with you. That's, like, not one of the things that Sims will bring with them, but that's something people will actually bring with them to actual college. So I figured, you know what, just put it in the middle there, and just have it there so Sims can go around and they can play with it, and just, have some fun and socialize, because that's something, back in, like, the first semester or something, that was something I did, school, is when I wasn't studying or when I wanted to take a break or something, I actually would go out there and just talk to people in the hall and just play some games. But once I got involved with, like, Flurp and stuff, I just didn't do that anymore, because I had people to socialize with. But, there's actually this one time I went to the lounge, and there were, like, 3 people playing Hearts, and they needed a 4th person, so I'm like, okay, I'll play, and I ended up winning. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But anyway, I put, like, a trash can in the middle of the hall, because I know in Douglas that was what we had. We had a little alcove-like thing, and that's where the trash was. So you would go and you would take your trash into this little alcove thing. I know in the other hall we had a little room that had all the trash stuff in it. And here comes the funny part, where as you see, I'm actually putting, everything that needs to be in the room, just so I have it all laid out. Guess what I forgot to put in the rooms again? Yeah, the mini fridges. I don't know, no matter what I do, I always forget to put in the mini fridge. I'm like 3 rooms into decorating, and all of a sudden I realize, wait, there's no mini fridges in this room, and I need a mini fridge in the room. So, yeah, some of these rooms were really just hard to do, just because I had to utilize the space really well, and that was just, difficult. But I did finally figure it out. I know one room, I actually ended up doing bunk beds, and I know the top one isn't functional, but there were more than 10 beds in this hall anyway, so it really didn't matter. I really didn't need another functional bed. So, yeah. But this time around, I didn't actually clutter things up, just because when I was playtesting some of the other residence halls, dorms, university housing lots I built, you know, people would just come in and they go in the room and then, you know, I have like a laptop computer there because I just, you know, or not a laptop, it'd be like a desktop computer there because I just put it there, you know, and people would, you know, just leave their little plants right on the same space as the computer. So it's a computer and plants occupying the same space, which isn't possible. I don't know why. It might just be some bug, but you know, I kind of left all the desks blank for that reason. I didn't put a lot of clutter. All of the decorations I put were just on the walls or on the floor. And so that way, you know, the people can come in and decorate their rooms however they really want to with their own objects. I didn't really know that that was going to happen. So it was something that surprised me. But I did take that into account this time. Also, I did try to do each room a little bit differently, and see, I put these lights in this room, but I realized I probably should have shrunk it down, because when I went to take the screenshots, they were kind of in the way, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna bonk your heads on those, but it's not my problem, it's theirs. But anyway, I was actually able, when I went to play test this lot, I was able to assign beds to everyone and then lock all the doors to who was actually living in the room. So you don't have people like just walking into other people's rooms. And I mean, I know that does happen in school, but you know, you have to actually ask to be invited. It's not something that's just randomly going to happen. I mean, I know I talked to people in other people's rooms for a little bit, you know, the first semester, but it's just in The Sims, it's a really kind of annoying thing that's going on. And there's already just weird stuff going on. Like, I'm just playing this game and all of a sudden there's like roast chickens in the middle of the dining hall. I'm like, guys, we don't even have a stove. Where are you getting entire roast chickens just sitting there? I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's something for my sim to eat. But I mean, come on. Where is this coming from? Why are you bringing an entire roast chicken into university housing? What the heck is actually going on? And, you know, they were doing it in this lot, too. They actually, you know, were bringing it into the lobby and just sticking it down the lobby. So it isn't even, at least in the other ones, it was to be able to share with the people on their floor or their cluster. But, you know, this time it's just like I don't even know. Anyway, that layer rug I did get from Three Sisters Gaming. One of their builds, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but I don't know. I just can't recall. But anyway, I see a lot of cool ideas on other people's builds, which is really interesting because a lot of people come up with really innovative ideas that I never would have thought of. And I like, you know, kind of using those ideas in my creations as well. Especially the stop motion builds. And I kind of like stop motion builds a little bit better just because they're shorter and I have the attention span to actually sit through the entire thing. Whereas like a 20-minute speed build, you know, 5 minutes go by and I already want to do something else. It's not that the speed build is boring or anything. So it's no, I'm not complaining about the people doing the speed build. It's just that if I'm not doing something else while I'm watching these things, my mind tends to wander and I get bored really easily. That's just how it works for me. And, you know, I'm sorry if that's insulting, but, you know, I try to actually, you know, watch these speed builds when I'm building myself so that way I can listen to, like, everything the person says. Because, you know, if they're saying something, it's probably important. But anyway, we are almost at the screenshots and I've run out of things to say, so I am going to leave you guys here and put some music in the background. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you left a like and subscribed and left a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. I've already said that. But anyway, you can follow me on Instagram at VisitJoan if you want to see fun facts, sneak peeks, behind the scenes, stuff like that. Or if you want to, you know, see a bunch of other stuff like my thoughts on Sims news and all things Sims related, just interesting stuff in general, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at VisitJoan Videos. But anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. I will see you in the next video, everyone. Bye!